Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, it's what we do when we come together as family and community. God doing business as each and every one of us raises us up. And maybe, just maybe, when we come in here, we have a little bit of a vibration that's at a low place, that when you leave, you are raised up by being in the energy of people who hold the high watch for you, of people who see the magnificence of your soul, of people that see that inner child. You know, because everything got turned upside down, I went looking to my old readings and my old poems, and I thought this one bears repeating as we're talking about the heart of a child. How many of you know Robert Fulghum? Robert Fulghum is one of my heroes, and he wrote this, and it's called All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. See if you can let your inner child out and remember with me today as I read. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of graduate school mountains, but there in the sand pile at Sunday school. These are the things that I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. I hope that doesn't happen here today. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours and say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. I release and I let go of all of it. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw some and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap. This is my favorite. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup? The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we're all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die. So do we. And then remember, the Dick and Jane books, this is really dating Robert Fulghum, the Dick and Jane books, and the first word you ever learned, the biggest word of all, look. Look. Look around the room. You raise me up. That's why we come together. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation. Ecology and politics and equality and sane living. Take any one of those items and extrapolate it into sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work or your government or your world, and it holds true and clear and firm. Think what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk about 3 o'clock every afternoon and laid down with our blankies for a nap. Sabbath is not just something that happens on Sunday. Sabbath is a state of mind, a state of peace. Or if all governments had it as a basic policy to always put things back where they found them and to clean up their own messes. And it's still true. No matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and to stick together. You know, we sometimes ask why it is we come together as a community and family. Why is it sometimes we spend time on every Sunday morning? Well, for some of you, twice a year, you come and you hold hands and you sing songs and you sway to the peace song on earth. It's because the world needs us to do those things, now more than ever. You see, the world has forgotten. It's forgotten. Vilma's over here remembering for you and with you. Our chaplain on duty today, and Jacinta's back there. They're holding the possibility of a world for you that's better, a life that's better for you. That's why we come here. Someone over here is holding the high watch for you over there. And someone over there is holding the high watch for you over there. I am home. My family is here. And sometimes, you know, we get a little rough around the edges here and we act a little kiddish and a little childish. But maybe what the world needs is to be a little bit more childlike in our approach to the messes that we've gotten ourselves into. This is the fourth in a 4-part series that we had for the month of May. We started this series with the heart of the matter. And we recognize that the heart of the matter, when all is said and done, all of the machinations of our mind, all of the machinations of the world, that love is the only thing that's true. That's the heart of the matter. Love is what it's all about, and sometimes we have to become a child to remember that. The second week, we talked about the heart of the mother on Mother's Day, with the recognition that we are called to be the mothers of a new reality. We are called to be the birthers and the creators of new realities. If you don't see it in the world, birth it. If you don't see it in your environment, be that you want to be in the environment, that you want to see in the environment. The third week was the heart of the moment. That was last week, where we realized that we were only one breath away from that love being in our field. Only one breath away from love being restored here and love being restored here. Take a breath with me. And let go of anything that is unlike love. And more than likely, you will find that when that letting go is happening, it's a lot of the adult stuff. We come to the fourth talk in our series, The Heart of a Child. It was all planned around a beautiful baby blessing, as we were going to recognize the heart of a child. Take your hand and place it upon your heart. There will be a blessings here today. In fact, anybody that wants to be blessed, you're going to be asked to come up at the end for the meditation today. Jesus tells us that we must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. Say that with me. We must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. Our experience of heaven that we so seek, we so want, and we so desire. And Jesus told us not only that phrase, but where is it? It is at hand, it is here, it is now, it is within. Some of us have forgotten that the kingdom of heaven is within us. What is it about children that we adults have forgotten? By the way, show of hands, how many were a child at one point? Okay, good. We shared that experience. You had what children have today, and if you happen to look at the people that are being birthed onto the planet today, there's a new paradigm coming in, folks. We better cooperate with it, because they're going to bulldoze us old fogies here if we don't pay attention. But what is it that the children have that we have forgotten? Or is it that we have it within us and we just haven't accessed it for a very long time? What is the missing piece we need to become a child so that we can experience that kingdom of heaven that we adults are not really experiencing? I want to listen to the music of the kids today. Your kid, your inner child, the music of the children that are downstairs. In fact, send them a little energy. Send the kids some energy on the floor. Come on, make some. I love that. There's a lot of music in today's service. I'll start with this one. Listen to the children. They can teach you many things. Take the time to listen as they fly on laughter's wings. They explore the world with endless imagination. They believe in miracles, so miracles come true. Feel the hearts of children and know their love for life. Hear the words of children, wisdom's found in simple minds. Love without condition, forgiveness beyond measure. Free yourself, learn from children. Could it be that what we seek is on the other side of listening, not on the other side of speaking? Could it be that what we are seeking is on the other side of listening and not on the other side of forcing or manifesting? Maybe it's more an organic process of just stopping, breathing, taking that breath, and then listening to the kids. Children sing songs of humility and unity. They see no difference of race, of color, of religion, of class, of status, or gender. Theirs is a song that transcends comparison and transcends competition and lives as a melody of unconditional love. Those who are humble enough to seek oneness will enter the kingdom of heaven. Children sing songs of faith and trust, not filled with judgment, doubt, and suspicion. Recognize the qualities? Judgment, doubt, and suspicion, those are adult qualities. They sing songs full of acceptance, songs of innocence. Those that trust more readily, more powerfully, more purposefully are the ones that will enter the kingdom of heaven. Children sing songs of non-attachment. Any Buddhists in the room today? Non-attachment is right there at the center. We are so darn attached to the way we think life is supposed to be and to the way people are supposed to be that we're missing the miracle of seeing the love that's there in the midst of it. We adults have become so rigid in our ways. To experience heaven, ours is to nurture the childlike heart that is pliable, open, and flexible. Children sing songs of openness. They are hungry to learn. You know, hunger is a sign of health. If you are hungry, it's a sign that your body is healthy. If you are hungry spiritually and not closed-minded spiritually, that's a sign of health spiritually. If we have lost our spiritual thirst and hunger, it is a sure sign that something needs to be addressed because we're missing the kingdom of heaven. Be hungry for a greater expression of love. Be hungry for a greater expression of love in here and out here, and then call it out, seek it out, and be it. A heart that is eager to learn, a heart that is eager to explore and adventure, one that is humble, teachable, open, and hungry is going to enter the kingdom of heaven. Repeat after me. I am hungry today. And I am fed today. I'll give you a familiar story here. You've heard it. The Buddhists will all know it, but it bears repeating about being hungry. One day, a long time ago, there was a young man who had sought to study under the wisest of the Zen masters in the world. And so he traveled many, many miles and many moons to the master's temple and was welcomed in with love. As they began to walk around the temple courtyard, conversing, the Zen master mainly listened as the man went on and on and on and on about how he had studied Zen Buddhism for so many years and how he knew so much about meditation. He knew so much about breathing. He knew so much about the sutras. On and on he went while the Zen master patiently listened, offering up only an occasional, Finally, after some time had passed, the master got a breath in, suggested that they go inside to have some tea. A bit later, they were seated with a hot kettle between them, and the master picked up the kettle, and he began pouring the hot tea into the man's cup while he continued to ramble on and on and on about his vast knowledge. The master said nothing, but just continued to pour and to pour and to pour until the hot tea was flowing all over the sides of the cup and onto the floor. "Stop!" exclaimed the man. "The cup is full. It won't hold any more tea." "Yes," the master replied, "and like this cup of tea, you will not be able to learn any more until you have emptied yourself. Those who are empty and teachable will enter the kingdom of heaven." The kids that are coming into the planet today are challenging the religious systems that we live in. Our ideas, our answers that we have held fast to for so long, teenagers will challenge those. Rightfully so. It's their job to create the evolution of the planet that is needed right now. And they are going to challenge you. And it will not be comfortable. I've been using the term a lot this week about old dogs and new tricks. I think I've become one of those old dogs. I need to listen more carefully, but in order to listen, I have to empty my cup of my answers. We often say we come to unity to get our questions answered, and that's a beautiful part of what we do here. But if what we do here is not also get our answers questioned, we have stopped growing. We are so full that there's nothing more to learn. You know, I remember sitting at the feet of my friend Joel Blackford, who's a member of this community. He's also a Unity minister. And the first time I heard him, he was teaching a talk, and there was nothing new, nothing really profound. You know, there's only about 5 different talks you can give up here, and you got to find 365 ways to say it. Oh, those are the principles. I know that. But Joel Blackford would pause, and he says, do you know that you can change your life by your thinking? And he'd go, wow. Or he'd say, everybody say, yippee. Come on. And I thought, all of a sudden, my thoughts can change my reality. I heard with the beginner's mind, with the beginner's ears, with a beginner's heart. I heard it as if I was hearing it for the first time. And I get so many people in New Thought come, and we're all about the entertainment. They hear, oh, we're going to give a talk on the 5 principles of unity, and you all stay home. Oh, I know all that. I know it. I don't need to. I've memorized it. And the reality is, this happens in churches all over the country. I already have all the answers. I don't need to go. Then if you don't need to go, then bring something into the room and give it to the person who's here for the first time. So many people in New Thought are all about, heard it, I don't need to go anymore. But you're contextualizing what we do as a family, as a community, as all about what you get. And then we wonder why we don't grow. Because the people who already know everything stay home and don't come and get into a place of service. Don't experience the words, the simple words that we teach from a childlike mind, and realize that it should be revisited, and it should be revisited often. To play in the playground. Leela, the Hindus call it. Leela, this is a playground. And you're missing from the playground when you're not here. It's not that you're just missed, but the environment misses the light that you have to bring to the family. It's important. I'm going to go on. The second part of the message today is we're listening to children. But if you want to know, ever have a kid, one of your kids or your grandkids come to you and spout something that you didn't think they ever heard that you'd said, and they throw it back in your face? Children are listening. They're paying attention, and they are great mirrors. Careful the things you say. Children will listen. Careful the things you do. Children will see and learn. Children may not obey, but children will listen. Children will look to you for which way to turn, to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Children are listening, they are watching, they are noticing, especially when you think they're not paying attention. Children are being taught. The future generations that are coming onto the planet are being guided, molded, and instructed every moment about life and about our spiritual belief system by the thoughts, the words, and more importantly, the actions that we entertain when we think they aren't paying attention. The kids are paying attention, and I don't think they like what they see. The children are watching. I know for a fact that my teaching from this lectern is far less powerful than my teaching in my life. That I can talk a good game up here, but it only is valid if I can take those words and I can live them out in the world. We can talk a good game about oneness here, and it's wonderful to talk about. It feels good, doesn't it? Yes. And that teaching is good to a point, but if we want to affect the world and affect the change that we want to see, we need to take these teachings and go hit the streets with them, because our lives are speaking volumes about whether these principles that we know so well are valid or not. Just consider. You all are here, so these are the people that didn't make it today. That the reason New Thought has not grown in leaps and bounds because it's a message that this world needs is because the messages from the platform are not met by the messages of the lives that we are living on earth. Just consider that for a minute. I'm asking myself that question. Would it be that the message that is valid and important and relevant today is not reaching the people it needs to reach because the feet and the hands and the words are not matching the words that are coming out when you're on a platform? I'm asking you to consider that. So what are children learning from you? Love or fear? Unity, no matter what, or duality when it's not comfortable? Children are listening. Ralph Waldo Emerson, I'm going to invite you to say this quote with me. Let's put it up there. Let's read it together. Who you are thunders so loudly in my ear that I cannot hear you. We teach when we humbly examine and acknowledge and actively mend any incongruity between the compassion and understanding that we talk about, that we teach, and our actions. Plain and simple, the children are listening and they're calling us out, and we don't necessarily like it. Clean your plate. There's a lady whose name is Arlene Lawrence. Gandhi is often attributed to this next quote, but it was not Gandhi. He never said it. I looked it up. He never said it, but he said it. This lady did say it. Let's read it together. Be the change you want to see happen. We've often heard it says, be the change you want to see in the world. This was the exact quote. Look at that child. I want to be that child when things are going well. I want to be that child when the world is falling apart. I want to be that child when I'm angry. I want to be that child when I'm afraid. I want to be that child on this platform, and I want to be that child when I'm off this platform. But notice that Arlene did not say, teach the change you want to see in the world. Be it. We don't have to wait for another generation. A lot of us are waiting for the new generation to change the world and to change the culture. Perhaps if we spent less time imparting knowledge from an overfull cup and spent more time calling out and listening to the innate wisdom that already exists within them and exists within us, we will also find heaven. Myrtle Fillmore is one of the co-founders of Unity, and she absolutely understood this concept when she said this. Please read her words with me. Who meddles with the rosebud? What fingers are deft enough to pry open that marvel of folded beauty? We are wise enough to leave it alone, to follow the glad law of its own unfolding. But our children, have we dealt as wisely with these buds of marvelous possibility? Have we remembered that they too must quicken and unfold through the innate law of their own genius? Let's ask our kids, what do you think? Let's ask our kids, tell me about the God of your heart. Tell me about love and how love shows up in your environment and how your heart aches when love doesn't show up in the environment. Teach me. Let me put my ears on and listen. What is the longing of your soul? What can you teach the old dog? What does Grandpa need to know that he's forgotten? And then from an empty cup, listen. I'm going to invite the band to come back up. Most children know a heck of a lot more about true love than adults who have experienced years of divisiveness and turned oneness into passive indifference and mere tolerance. If you're just tolerating people who think differently than you, then you've missed the boat and you're never going to enter the kingdom of heaven. If you're tolerating people that look, that feel, that think, that act differently than you, toleration isn't going to get you into the kingdom of heaven. It is being the vibrating center of that child a minute ago. I will be the vibrating center of God and of peace. A little music would be great. Let us, as students of truth, be like the little girl who asked her mom to spend some time alone with her brand new baby sister. The mom agreed. And she listened from the other room as the little girl leaned into the baby and whispered, "Tell me about God. I'm starting to forget, and I need you to help me remember." When we come together as family, and we come together as a community, there's nothing really that profound about what we're sharing here in this service. It's not deep philosophical, theological concepts, but it's sitting next to a child of God, to your left or your right, in front of you or behind you, and saying, "Help me remember God, because I'm starting to forget. Tell me about the God that died when you were 25, when you were 35, when you were 101. Tell me about the God that I have forgotten." That's why we come together. That's why I'm home when I'm with family. That's why what we do here is no small task. It's needed not just for the people in the room or the people online. It is needed for the world. And when you're watching the news tonight and you look at the crap that the adult world has created, call somebody up. "I need an inner child right now, and I need you to help me remember first who I am, who you are, who we are together." We must open up our eyes, open up our ears, live the dreams we dream, let go of all the fear, dance the dance of youth, learn from children, dance the dance of youth, learn from children. You must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven.